Originally planning to make a video on Stellar Moon redraws, but seeing as Twitter is freaking blowing up with this tag, I think I'll make a video on this. And also, I'll add a little bit of a change. I'll make it into an art style challenge, where I'm just going to draw on 5 art styles, because if I drew in any more, I would just be killing myself. So to start off, we'll begin with Panty Stocking art style. It's a more simplistic, kind of like hard edges with big lines, and so I just want to get a feel for what I'm drawing here. So we're just going to start off with a very simple design. I don't want to like go too hard, too fast, so we're just going to start off with simple, straightforward line work. So I chose Panty Stocking mostly for that choice. So I added the art style challenge because I don't really have an art style for myself. They're similar to Patronus, and I think it was Harry Potter or like the Force or the lightsabers in Star Wars, where like they just come to you, you don't choose them, kind of thing. Some people might argue against that. I don't know. It's more of a thing where it kind of comes to you, and I still don't have it yet, so I'm kind of trying to figure it out as I do this. So I'm trying to draw in different art styles. If you watch my other videos, shameless tag towards my other videos if you want to watch them. They have a different style every time. They don't seem to be very static. So I tend to change my art style often. I love Panty Stocking for the reason it's a kind of crass while also being funny and very lewd in many ways. If the name doesn't suggest that it's about two angels whose names are Panty and Stocking, and a guy named Garterbelt. And it's very weird. It's pretty funny. It's got that kind of more adult humor. I think I was too young to be watching this kind of show, but I watched it anyways. It was pretty funny. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of good episodes, a lot of funny bits in there. There was a really funny episode about how they were in a rock band and they were touring, and it was like this epic montage of like music genres where they're referencing other music videos, and it was like, and this isn't the art style where like it's the more complex, more anime art style. It's the more cartoony, simplistic one, which I think people like more. It depends. Depends what you ask. I like it because it's a more straightforward kind of art style. It has a more signifying point. I like simplicity over complex shapes, because if you can communicate that a circle is supposed to be a hand while also maintaining the gestures and the complex nature of how the hand moves and how it points, well, that is a lot better than having to draw an entire hand, because there's all these big points about like you have to have all the fingers. Well, if you just have a circle and you can communicate with that circle that it's a hand, then that's better, because you've managed to make this very complex thing and simplified it down to something very basic. But yeah, the end of it is just very basic lines. Keep it simple, straightforward, just get to the point. I just love the comedy in Panty Stocking. It's just so funny. I'm gonna stop talking about Panty Stocking, move on to talking about Miraculous Ladybug. It is a really good show. I love Miraculous Ladybug. It's a good female heroine superhero show where I can finally enjoy it and have to relax. I like the designs, I like the Kwame, I like the story arcs. All the characters are well developed. It's just enjoyable to watch Miraculous Ladybug. I can't stress it enough how I just love. It's a new show. I just got into it. I've been into this for like 2 years now. I don't know how long Miraculous Ladybug's been around, but I just enjoy watching it. It's this simple concept of superheroes fighting off the bad guys, superhero, monster of the week kind of genre. But I enjoy it. I enjoy that genre so much. It reminds me of my childhood, where I just need an action cartoon in my life. And by the way, for this art style, we're not going to be using the art style for the actual show. We're going to go more towards the movie. It's one of the episodes in Miraculous Ladybug is where they're making a movie, and so that's that movie is the drawing style we're gonna base this on. there's also that movie is also the OVA made by, I think, Studio Trigger, which is the basis of where we're getting this art style from. So in technicality, this is also Studio Trigger art style. And don't even get me started on Studio Trigger, where ranging from Gurren Lagann and most recently Promare. I love Promare. It's a great show. But we're not going to talk about Studio Trigger. We're going to mostly focus on Miraculous Ladybug. I just enjoy watching every episode. Some episodes I just skip through it. My favorite episode has to be the episode where it's the movie episode that I spoke about, where they fight this bad guy who's the art director, but nobody knows what an art director does, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Moving on. Our third art style is gonna be Yugioh. Yugioh has a very deep connection to me because as a child I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh a lot, and I still do, not as much anymore because it's kind of been dying down at the most recent seasons. The art style, we're just going to base it on the traditional, original art style, not the OVA one. This time it's going to be the main series one. So it's going to be Yu-Gi-Oh! The traditional art style, kind of based on the manga art style, but we're just going to focus on the anime art style. I really enjoyed Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a good card game. I had a lot of fun with Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. Went to a lot of tournaments, got zero money, I barely ever won, but I did get a lot of cards, and I did play the game into the most current years of my life. So far, the art style's been degrading over the years, especially the newest one. The one I've seen, like, it was 7? I think it's something 7 roads. That one is just cheap. I don't like that one at all. The original art style has very thick, very heavy lines. The movie, the Yu-Gi-Oh movie, the one with something time, that one's pretty cool. I like that one. But I don't know what I can say about Yu-Gi-Oh! There's just so much. I could make a video just on Yu-Gi-Oh! Alone. I enjoyed playing the card game, to watching the anime, to so many quotes ranging from Kaiba where it's like, Yugi, you're gonna lose. There's just so many quotes from Yu-Gi-Oh! That can just be put into any sentence. Specifically the Exodia reference. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Just affected so many card games because without Yu-Gi-Oh! Card games wouldn't be the same as they are right now. This would extend into many other card games I played. I used to play Hearthstone, now I don't anymore, mostly because I just dedicate myself to drawing. But if it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like I wouldn't have gone into the path of cards and many other kinds of anime, because there was a lot of anime I've seen, but Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of plays a very specific role where it just appeals to me, both in the sense of intelligence and the just plain all-out attention-grabbing action they have. Like, I remember watching the original seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! On 4Kids. They were kind of toned down, but I still loved them. And that really got me into, like, voice acting as well. If it wasn't for Yu-Gi-Oh! I would have never done the Kaiba and Yu-Gi-Oh! Kind of voices. I would have never gone into, like, these abridged series dubs I did years ago. But those were for GX. I never watched GX as a child, because I only got to see the reruns of Yu-Gi-Oh! Original. And then I only grew up through the 5Ds era, and that's when I really started to get into actual Yu-Gi-Oh! But my young childhood self, I spent a lot of money on Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, and I kinda hated that. But I still enjoyed all the time I spent on Yu-Gi-Oh! It was so enjoyable. A lot of episodes, a lot of time on Saturday mornings just watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Waiting for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Episodes to come on. But there was Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. I think when the quality went down was really right after Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, because then the art style just started to plummet down, and I started to hate it. But for the original ones, both a little bit of nostalgia and a little bit of love. I don't really have a reason why I wanted to draw Jojo art style, but I just felt I needed this really contrasting art style from the other ones, where we had the Panty Stocking where it's very simple and straightforward. We were gonna have this Jojo art style where it's like way over the top, a lot of lines everywhere. That's what I wanted to do, and I'm making the rules, and this is my video, so I'm just gonna put it in here for no reason. I like Jojo personally because it's just such a wacky, crazy show. These like da-da-da-das and punching everywhere, stands. I really only liked the first two. The seasons after that, I kind of felt like they dropped off because of the stands. But I think they made a right choice because it became from being strength and willpower to being intelligence and strategy, which improves the show because the show can be limited in the sense if it's just strength and willpower, because then it just becomes Dragon Ball Z, and I don't like Dragon Ball Z that much. It just runs down on you. But JoJo, I love JoJo for its story. The character design is very interesting. I forget the name of the manga artist, but I love his work. His art style, it's beautiful while also being very angular with thick lines and complex. And it's beautiful. The manga itself is beautiful. I don't own any of the mangas. I hope I will one day. Maybe one day I'll buy one of the original mangas, or maybe buy one of the drawings. I'm looking forward to season 6, I think. I think it's Gyro Ball or Steel Ball Run, or maybe the Stone Ocean. I think Stone Ocean will be a nice change of pace, being as it'll have a main female protagonist. But for the most part, I think I captured the essence of Sailor Moon and the art style of JoJo, because it has these really... I wanted to add the menacing symbols, but I think that changes it too much, so we'll just keep it like this. And here's a shameless tag towards my Twitter. If you want to see all the finished artworks, go check out my Twitter. I'll leave a link in the description down below. If you want to see art and other stuff, sometimes I make memes, sometimes I just make comments. So yeah, go over there, follow me on Twitter. That'll make me very happy, and you'll make a lot of other people happy, like my other self and all my other personalities. So see you over there on Twitter. Okay, for the last art style, we're gonna do the Pokemon video game art style. I think it's slightly different from the actual series art style or manga art style. It depends. There's a little bit of both in all of these, but for the most part, we're just gonna do the video game and card game art style. I never played the card game because nobody knows how to play the card game in primary school. I just mostly played the video game, and that was when I was around maybe 12 to 14. I played the Pokio version. I'm gonna include a little story about the card game. In primary school, I think it was around 4th grade, I saw the Charizard card. You know the one, the very expensive one that everybody likes for some reason, the Blue Eyes White Dragon of the Pokemon game. It was lying there on the ground in the middle of a bunch of benches. I saw it, and I just passed it, because I don't play the Pokemon card game. So I just left it there like a dunce, and then I came back and saw that it was gone. So somebody took it. It wasn't me, but somebody took that card, and I should have been the one that took it because I saw it first, and that's how it works in elementary school. But whatever, I'll let it go. I still enjoy the card game. Not so much the card game, more the video game. I like the video games. I don't like the series anymore. The newest one I think is Sword and Shield. And that one, I like the new series that's come out. The shorts about the champions. I like that one a lot. Especially the one with Nessa. It's beautiful. Art style's beautiful. And for the most part, I think that covers all the bases. This was a bit of a different video. Maybe I'll do a different art style challenge in the future. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like down below, and I'll do a lot more of these speed paints maybe in the future. But next week, it's gonna be an animation for sure. Until next time.